The effects of infidelity on the brain. If cheating activates different brain areas related to pain, fear and disgust. It also affects men and women differently. Betrayals often have a very high price, both interpersonally and individually. Some of the effects of infidelity are that it reinforces doubt and increases feelings of insecurity. It is like an all-consuming fire that ends up destroying everything that the betrayed person has fought for. Infidelity is a breach of trust. As such, it has the potential to trigger extremely intense and disgusting emotions. Among them are frustration, bitterness, anger, anxiety and sadness. In this article, however, we will examine another emotion that is closely related to infidelity: jealousy. One must learn to leave the table when love is no longer served. Nina Simone. Jealousy as an emotion. An emotion is a way of reacting to one or more stimuli in the environment. It has three components. The behavioral component. This is the kind of behavior that occurs as a reactive way or as a consequence of the feeling. The neurovegetative component. How our body mobilizes and gathers energy resources to deal with the stimulus. This is located in the 90 autonomic nervous system, ANS. The hormonal component. It helps the neurovegetative system thanks to the release of substances that facilitate an emotional response, e.g., the hormones that are secreted at the level of the adrenal cortex. They are released so that our muscles get enough food. Jealousy is an emotion with a deep social basis. It is defined as being suspicious, distrustful and mistrusting the other. It can actually change the affection that people feel for each other. In fact, the feeling of jealousy is an expectation of loss. It warns us of possible future pain and loss. It is both normal and disturbing to react with jealousy to infidelity. Furthermore, the reaction varies depending on whether you are male or female. The answer to this lies in evolution. Within this framework, jealousy is associated with reproductive consequences. The opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. Eloise. What are the effects of infidelity on your brain? If you are a woman, you are probably more sensitive to the scenario of emotional infidelity. If, on the other hand, you are a man, you probably place more emphasis on infidelity of a sexual nature. Infidelity is a concrete and real situation that represents the highest level of intimidation in a relationship that can be experienced. Anamafeonentezapia. In the face of unfaithful behavior, areas related to negative emotions and social cognition are usually activated. Takahashi, 2006. Among them are amygdala. This is a central structure in the emotional response. In fact, it functions as an orchestral conductor. Among its functions are the regulation of impulses and the expression of emotions. Furthermore, it is intensely activated by fear. Insula. It is activated when we do not like something and when we feel disgust. It is also activated when infidelity hurts and we feel jealous. Also, physical pain activates this area. In fact, it is responsible for treating the emotional part of pain. The superior temporal gyrus. Jealousy arises as a consequence of a perceived failure. The superior temporal gyrus is activated whenever we assess a person's trust and intentionality. The visual cortex. In both men and women, the visual cortex is highly activated when infidelity occurs. It happens because we actively imagine that our partner is unfaithful. In fact, we see it with our eyes. In men, the amygdala is activated more intensely if the infidelity has been sexual. But when it comes to emotional infidelity, the insula, hippocampus and hypothalamus are activated. Takahashi, 2017. As you can see, certain areas are activated differently by gender. This has its origins in the different ways in which men and women view infidelity in terms of reproduction. The amygdala and insula are the central hubs for the processing of basic negative emotions, respectively fear and disgust. Hidehiko Takahashi,